I'm not watching that much anime for the surprise of no one, but the ones I'm watching have been quite enjoyable, and this time I'm here to preach you about one of my selections from this summer season 2023. The Duke of Death and His Maid is a really enjoyable romance that I talked about in my summer season first impressions, and although not great in animation, it does one thing way better than Spy X Family. The one thing that was the reason for me dropping Spy Family, and not because the anime was bad, the contrary, I would say Spy Family is great. But it has that one flaw that I can't endure it. Hear me out. Oh, and since you're here, please subscribe if you like the content. Can't promise anime content that much, but I've been trying to upload whatever I feel like it. Maybe there is something that catch your taste. Now, let's begin. The Duke of Death and His Maid is about Slenderman's lost cousin, the Duke, a pale, scary gentleman creature that killed those he touches, and because of that, he was disowned from his family and forced to live alone in the mansion. But the thing is, he has the Lucian Argonian maid that seems for him very much and does not know the concept of personal space, except the Argonian blizzard part. The Duke hates life since he can't smash and has to avoid to kill his loved one that won't stop teasing him. In this story, to hopefully break his curse, he will make various friends and enemies in hopes to free himself from the average male life in the distant future of 2022. Before everything else, yes, this anime is in 3D, with few parts actually drawn, mostly scenarios, some facial expressions or characters in some chibi or cartoonish style. And it's not the Studio Orange level of quality of 3D, but it's also not the horrible ones, to be fair. Yes, the characters are stiff and not that natural, but they are not bad models. They work with what they have and animated enough to give it a bit of expression to them when they are talking, moving, or doing whatever they are doing on screen. It has some bad moments, especially when characters are running, like there are those robotic running animations. Just like an X-Arm from Beaten 2021. The 3D is not a reason for you to watch this anime. It is more of an obstacle. But what does it have when you go through that? Alice boobs. Okay, I'm joking. I mean, not only that. This anime has some strong points, and one of them being the characters. The whole cast, although quirky and initially seen one-sided, has more than that when you look close enough. Alice is teasing the Duke, but she does have this concerned and caring side for the mystery of her mother's appearance. The Duke's brother, who has this rolling joke of being the second son of the family, and has the inferiority complex when always compared to the main character. He has showed some qualities that he gets on his own. It is not much of a change, but he does. What really sold me in the fun side characters though is his witch friend, Zayn and Cuff. The romance story is really good and you get to slowly see it grow from season 1 to the second season. From step to step, to trait, and finally you get to see the reasons of how these two get along. These two characters get an arc of their own and show how this anime can bring something special. And okay, this may be basic for most anime, a mandatory quality check for people to watch some anime. And yes, I am giving this show more credit than it deserves. But I believe the Duke of Death and His Maid does best is progress. The Duke's death situation is always taken in consideration no matter what is happening, and if it is not, there is a reason why. This anime is always move forward and is not stalling. We are getting hints of how the curse works, who was the witch that cursed him, or what can finally remove it. This anime, although being a carefree slice of life, does a great work of always consider the pinpoints that it puts in the board and goes through them when necessary. If you want to see an anime that really needed that, look no further to this. Spy Family or Spy X Family, I'm still not sure how to say this, could not be a more opposite comparison to the Duke of Death and His Maid. This anime not only has some god-tier animation with great openings and endings. To be fair, the Duke of Death has some sweet endings as well, but this show's production, cast, music and voice acting is above of Duke of Death. However, where it exceeds, I would say, it will be the premise. In Spy Family we have this guy, Twilight, who is next in the enemy country of Vostanis with the fake name of Lloyd Forger. His mission is the challenging task of raising children and getting a wife, which can be hard since the anime happens in the past times of 2022. Wait, what the fuck? His best achievements were a pink-haired goblin who is also telepath and now knows he's a spy, and a literary murderer that kills his colleagues. With the exception for the kid, they are not aware of their actual jobs. We then follow this dad and family in a mission of bringing peace to Ostanis and Vestalis, where Anya has to make friendships with a boy that has a dad as a politician or something like that, which, if we know Anya, can be quite a challenge, to not say much. This premise is just so good. In the first few episodes, the anime already have you in the edge of your seat. You know everything that is happening, who those characters truly are, but the anime set the pace for all the possibilities that the audience can already imagine. When will Lloyd suspect about Yor's assassination's job? When will Yor suspect that Lloyd may be a spy? When will Anya be found to have telepathy? And especially when all cards are on the table and these family's lies are revealed, will they accept each other or try to finish each other? All these possible scenarios that can come up can be so impactful and twist the story, and maybe they can be revealed in a way that none of us expected. But to be honest with you, I don't think they will, at least not soon, because the biggest flaw of Spy Family, in my opinion, is that the anime gave up of its premise as soon as it was settled. If you don't know, Spy Family is considered one of those healing anime, or also known as Yashikei anime, where these shows have the intention of calming or healing the audience, showing some sweet stories and without significant tension, where the objective is to nourish the heart or mind, and that's what we get. As soon as the series starts, we see how this disjointed family get themselves together, how Lloyd gets Anya to join school, Anya trying to make friends, we are learning to cook. The anime is showing these cast having some good moments together, saying to you that is for the importance of the Operation Styx, but honestly, I felt I was being deceived. The show wasn't moving forward and will hardly move, because the focus isn't the premise, but is healing the audience. And that's why I appreciate the Duke of Death. With the second season airing now, although also having some sweet and goofy moments, the anime never forgets what it needs to deliver. If it is about the protagonist or side character stories, the anime does give a progressive story, and I appreciate that. Please consider to subscribe if you enjoyed the video, or press the like button if you like it. Thank you for watching and have a great day.